Good morning. Can y'all hear me? I'm Stephanie. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I've been in our business for 17 years. JB has joined me today because what we want to talk about is manager compensation. We're going to talk about real numbers. We're going to talk about how you can pay your managers better. JB and I have attended several sessions here, some fantastic education, some great speakers, and we've heard the demands of what you expect from your managers and what managers have to do. And let me make it very clear, we're not talking about bad managers today. We can do an entire session on that another time. We're talking about those good superstars. How many managers are in my room right now?
Awesome.
Raise them high.
There's one right there.
Give yourselves applause because you guys are what? You're the face of our business.
So yeah, what we're talking about is manager compensation, and it seems like this is a very hot topic, right? It's almost we saw on the slide before that there's a controversial topic, right? So we're going to try to make it as uncontroversial as we can today. Let's see.
Go ahead and start us.
We're talking about salary and rental commissions. Stephanie?
Salary and rental commissions. How many people pay your managers an hourly wage? And how many pay a salary? And how many, that's great. And how many give rental bonuses when a manager rents a unit? Less hands right there. Okay. I don't really have an opinion on salary versus hourly. What we like to do is give our managers a really great salary and a great bonus incentive package. So what we're going to talk today about is different ideas of how you can pay your managers different incentives that you as an owner it's not really coming out of your pocket. They're going to work for it. The managers are going to work for that bonus structure, and that's what they're going to do. The session right before us, I talked about overtime. That was addressed in that last session. How many of you were in the last session that she just did? Okay. Taxes, rental commissions, extra perks for performance. This is basically what we're going to go over in our session. And did you have a question?
My name is Robin Klein, and I'm from New York, and we have two facilities, one in Port Chester, New York, and one in New Haven. My question is, only as you're going to keep speaking about managers, many people seem to call we call them sales consultants, they call them managers. We have a manager and then our sales consultants, or manager, assistant manager, and then sales consultants. So my question really is, when you're referring managers, are you talking about what we consider sales consultants? I just want to get a perspective. It's really a personal understanding.
Go ahead.
Well, when we talk about managers, we're talking about the face of your office. We're talking about the face of that particular facility. Mm-hmm.
Salary or not. Mm-hmm. Salary is for our manager. Our other workers are hourly. So
okay.
Okay.
Sure.
That's a great question. Did everybody hear what she was saying? Our managers, there are different employees in our stores, obviously. We have full-time managers that are the face of our business. They're the ones that have authority to make decisions. They're the ones who are ultimately responsible for that facility 24/7. We have part-time employees. We call them floaters. We use at different stores that we pay an hourly wage. Bonus incentives are only given to those managers that are in charge of the stores. Floaters are our hourly employees that we pay hourly. They don't have near the responsibility. They don't have any decision-making authority at all. Does that help answer your question? No, the part-time people because we do believe in giving our managers time off. So we hire folks to come in and help them so they do get a day off. Because a lot of us are open 7 days a week. You know, we're only open 6 days a week, but all over the country it's different. From what I've found traveling around, it's all different. And everything we say today may or may not apply to your demographic or your situation. We're just trying to give you all a lot of great ideas. Okay. Go ahead.
You were talking about you have a manager and a what was it? Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're talking about rental commissions, talking about bonuses.
We're just going to go on to
yeah. Go on the next slide. Does anyone have a resident manager? Resident managers? And then non-resident managers, I guess, would be the rest of everybody, right? Yeah, that would be the remainder of the room. What's included with the resident manager? Do y'all offer the same amenities right there, the rent, water, electric? Is all that included in your manager's compensation, in your resident manager compensation?
How many actually charge rent to your managers? That's really, I'm seeing more and more of that. Like in the last session, she talked about separating that all out, and that's something we have had to learn as we've grown and the industry has changed. But the salary, the manager's apartment is included sometimes, or most of the time. They get a free apartment, and that's how an owner looks at it. You get a free apartment. He has a question.
You have to charge some rent for the rental unit, otherwise it becomes a taxable event for them getting free housing.
Absolutely, I agree with you. What we're seeing is I'm seeing that change in our industry where a lot of times it's been free. So you've got to look at that whole compensation package you're giving your manager. I love the idea of different rental lease agreements. I'll be honest with you, that is not something we do at our company. It's something we need to do. It's something our lawyers have told us. It's something we're working on, but we have not done that. In our situation in Nashville, I would not charge a manager rent, but we just need to write up that separate agreement. So if Scott Zucker or Jeff are in here, just ignore me. So we have how many pay utilities, water and electric in the apartments? Are they hooked up to your offices? Like you've got the office and you walk through a door and there's an apartment? Okay. What about internet? Your managers can walk right in your office and get on the internet, can they not? You provide a computer that they're working on. They can get on Facebook. So I think you actually do provide internet services. The landline, your office phone, and cable. We do not provide cable TV. We make the managers pay for that themselves. Okay, now let's go to non-resident. When we have a non-resident manager that gets up and comes and she works or he works from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and half a day on Saturday, how much do we need to pay them more because we're providing all this for a resident manager? What are your thoughts on that? Anybody running storage facilities that have both? We have both. She is. How much do you pay differently between a resident and a non-resident?
They're two completely different situations.
Exactly.
So I don't really think of it like that. I pay my on-site, live on-site management couple, and it's just a whole different situation than the retail situation I have with no on-site managers. So
I completely agree with you. It is a totally different situation. A non-resident manager, if they get a call at 9 o'clock in the morning, they have to go get in their car and they have to drive to the site and they have to take care of after hours things. So the compensation, is different between resident and non-resident managers. And what I recommend that you do is look at that because it is totally different. Honestly, I think a resident manager gets a better deal. How many would agree? Yeah. What are your
I
thoughts?
agree too, because I am a resident manager. How about that? So, but there is a difference between, so what do you think the difference is between ours, between a resident and a non-resident as far as compensation?
We pay, honestly, the difference is only $500 because my resident managers are just as important to me as my non-resident managers. So resident managers make a little bit more. But it's not a whole lot more because we are trying to get away from resident managers. We really want our managers to all live off-site, and that's because I don't want them burning out, and I don't want them working 24/7 because they do. So that's kind of where we're at. Do we have any other thoughts or anything anyone would like to add at this point? Betsy, right over here. Hold on, she's coming with a mic. Of salary. We typically, he's asking what our salary is, and I knew this question was going to come up, and so just keep in mind when I tell you our salary in Nashville, Tennessee, that may or may not be what's going to work in your territory. But our managers make between $22 and $24 an hour, and our non-resident managers make a little bit more than the resident managers because we do provide that housing and we do provide the water and the electric. That does not include, yes, that does include bonuses. I'm sorry, yes, it does.
On an average basis, it does include the bonuses, yes.
And so what we've done to do is kind of lump together some numbers today because we do have 7 stores and they're all different. So let's talk about commissions. How many of you have ancillaries that you're offering? Boxes, blocks. How many do truck rentals? Are you paying your manager's commission on truck rentals? Raise your hand high if you are. That's fantastic. Truck rentals is a lot of work. It's more work than storage is, in my opinion. They have to deal with dispatch. They have to deal with the customers. They have to deal with the trucks being dropped off. They have to work with the haulers if their truck is not there and they're expecting it. They have to deal with all those customers. And the revenue that it brings in is okay. So in my opinion, that is a way for an owner to offer a manager more money if they're working in truck sales, if they're doing trucks. So what I recommend is 20%. No, I'm sorry. I recommend 50%. 50%. Give it to your manager. What is that costing you as an owner to have truck rentals? You're not paying for the trucks. You're not paying for the maintenance. You're not paying for the insurance. That's U-Haul or Budget or Penske or whoever you're using. So I do recommend that. Free trucks, we actually pay commission on those as well because we do have some free trucks that we offer at move-in. And we do pay a less commission on that to managers, but they can make money if they sell more mileage. We give 25 free miles. If they rent the truck because it's available for someone to move out or transfer or whatever, we only pay 20% on those. And the reason we do that is because, yes, we do own that truck, and we do pay the insurance, and we do pay the maintenance on that truck. But those managers also have to work a little bit to have that truck. They have to check it in. They have to check for damage. They have to go fuel it up. So we offer a little bit of an incentive for our managers on our free trucks as well.
Another thing, dollies, shipping, postal service. Does anybody have a shipping or a postal service at their facility? You do. How's that working out for you? I mean, is that a good revenue stream for you? Having postage and things like that? Mm-hmm. Right. That's pretty, and that's what we want, right? It's traffic. I mean, we're in the business to rent storage units, but these are opportunities for us to create a new revenue, or for us to, for our managers to, if our managers are receiving, if they're getting commission off this, aren't they going to work just a little bit harder to sell that product? I mean, isn't that kind of a common theme, right? Yes.
Are you going to cover how you keep track of that? Like how you...
She's asking how do we keep track of it. Yeah, it's all done through our software system. We have reports at the end of the month that report every single thing to us, and then that's how we pay our managers. And we also have a bonus structure that is in our contracts, and we do our offer of employment that spells all of that out.
It'll spell out which employee, how much, like that employee sold X amount of dollars.
We only pay our managers the bonuses. We do not pay part-time people.
They get a percentage of whatever their employee.
Right, exactly.
I have a question. On the commission that you're doing for truck rentals, did the hourly wage, is that also involved, the 22 and 24, or is that just on top of that as well?
That's a great question. This is how we do it. My part-time people are only there 1 day a week, and it's kind of like rental commissions. If I tried to start paying that, and you talked to the customer on Saturday, and they came in and rented on Monday, and your part-time person was there, do you see what kind of a problem that could get where they're going to start fighting over those rental commissions? So we've made it very simple. You're an hourly employee. You work for us. The manager, that's our superstar, and that's who we pay the compensation for all the bonuses. And we don't even really tell our part-time people that they make that. No, he's asking about the salary. Yes, sir. The salary we're quoting includes our commissions that we pay. Yes, sir.
So if you had said, say, a set salary, a set salary, and then commissions based off that, say 20% of net income or rentals or things like that. Rentals would be separate because it may be like a certain number per rental, something like that.
So these are different types of ancillaries. Let's talk about products, locks, boxes. I've heard different things at the expo this week. I've heard people that don't sell a lot of boxes, people that don't sell a lot of locks. We've had very good luck with those ancillaries. We sell boxes to everyone. We sell locks to everyone. One thing that I'll talk about in a minute is with the insurance that we offer, it offers a no deductible if they buy that cylinder lock or that disc lock from us. So a lot of times our customers will go ahead and purchase that just to get that zero deductible for their protection plan. Retail stuff is the easiest thing to make money on for an owner because what are you paying for a disc lock? Anybody know? Who said, I didn't hear?
$3.89.
$3.89, and you're selling that lot for how much? $9.
You said 15?
We sell them for 12. But look at the markup there on a lock. Look at boxes. If a small box costs you 58 cents and you're charging $3 or a dollar, even $1.50, that is a great markup. And we offer 20% retail sale commission to our managers for everything they sell, everything that walks out the door. And Ann Ballard, who I love, and I think she's a rock star, will tell you to get your managers to get those goals of how much per ticket they're going to sell more of in retail. Retail's not hard. As long as your managers are trained and they take control of that customer when they get in and they're talking to them about sizes, they can say, do you have a mattress cover? You need that in your storage unit. I think that's a really easy way to pay managers. I know companies that don't pay at all. I know companies that pay 10%, but we pay 20% because that's the easiest markup that we have. And our managers do very well in the retail. Moving on. How many were in the insurance session that just happened? They wouldn't talk real numbers, but I'm going to. In the last year, we partnered with an insurance company, and we rolled out a insurance program where you either have to provide us proof of insurance or you have to bring us documentation that you have it. The company we work with came in, they trained all my managers, all the managers sat down, they tracked their sales, their calls, their feedback, everyone that enrolled for 30 days. We made it company policy. We took that away from our managers. It is not up to JB to sell it. He tells a customer, what do you tell your customers, JB?
Well, I tell my customers that it's our policy. Our policy is you have to have insurance on your storage unit. That's for the contents. Just like if you rent a home, you have to have insurance. A lot of people that lease out homes, they require the person leasing that home to have insurance on their property, right? I mean, the person renting that home, the person that's renting it out has their own insurance to cover their building, right, or to cover their house. But it's up to the tenant to have their own insurance, whether it's through us or it's through their homeowners or renters policy. We will not rent them a unit unless they have insurance.
So that's how we do it. You guys are free to make those decisions for yourselves, but you want to have your staff properly trained. You want to make it the company policy where you take that away from your manager. The manager can make you the bad guy all day long. They make me the bad girl. It's totally fine. My district manager, boy, she makes us do this. I don't care. It's fine. Set their goals, track their success, and then sit down and discuss how this is going to benefit your manager. How does this benefit your manager? Number one, they can make some money. Who is motivated by money in this room? If y'all don't raise your hands and you're lying.
That guy. Are you?
Now we have our little thing here that laws regarding insurance are very specific. In Tennessee, they require us to have a specific license. I can't remember the name of it, but we are compliant. We did do that. Our insurance provider actually did that for us. So that was a step we didn't have to fool with. How it's going to benefit your manager. When someone walks in and they say, somebody broke in my unit, what are you going to do about it? What do you tell them?
That's why you have insurance.
They're very good. He says that's why you have insurance.
Yes.
So you're saying you don't pay commission on insurance sales?
We do.
We do,
Yes,
and I'm
we
getting
do.
ready to show you that. Yes, we do. He asked, do we pay commission on insurance sales? But you've got to explain the benefits of this to your manager once they're properly trained and once they see the benefit. And honestly, this is a huge benefit for the owner because you don't have every Joe Smith calling you when there's a complaint or a problem. You have an 800 number, you give them the paperwork, and that's what they signed up for. You tell your manager the benefit of this because how many managers that are in this room have that favorite tenant? Come on, you know you do. You got that one. Oh, I'll waive your late fee this time. Oh, it's okay if you're late. I know you. I know you're going through hard times. When you become friends with your tenants and something bad happens, they're going to come to you and say, you're my friend. What are you going to do? Am I wrong? No. They're going to come to your manager, and they're going to expect that manager to be their buddy and take care of them. So we don't want our managers, they're not claims adjusters. They're not insurance people. We want those customers going to the insurance companies and filing their claims. Do you have anything else to add to that?
Yes, and to managers, if you get the right training, if you get the proper training, and we did, we got great training, excellent training. It's it's about, number one, it protects the owner, okay? It protects the owners of the facilities. I mean, how much do we have invested in our properties, right? It's about protecting them. It's about protecting our tenants. Whether they like it or not, it's still about protecting them. And, you know, when we rolled this program out, you know, as a manager, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if I should expect 50% of our tenants to move out because they didn't like it or something like that. We sent them all letters, and there here I was for 2 weeks wondering if somebody was going to call me and, you know, chew me out or just bring a U-Haul and get their stuff out, right? But we didn't see that. And I don't think we did at any of our facilities, have a single person move out because they were concerned about paying for insurance.
So let's look at some real numbers. Of our 7 stores, and you'll see we got different demographics. We have small towns, big town, metro area. This is what our real numbers were for 2014. Now I'm going to point out number 7, which was our top dog, okay? Her insurance sales were $41,831. The admin that was paid to our owner was $18,800. That was extra money to you as an owner for what? Just because you got it because she did her job. Year-to-date commission paid to that manager was $9,400. She got a raise of $784 a month. How does that sound?
And what did that include? I mean, what did we have to do for that? You know, how much did we really have to work for that? Well, all we had to do was require our tenants to provide insurance, which is what we should be doing anyway, to protect ourselves, right, as business owners, is require them to have that.
If you look at some of the other numbers, and you can go to our number 5, which is one of our smaller locations in a rural area, she still did $18,000 in insurance sales. She got a $453 a month raise, which means our owner also got that $453. We split it with our managers. We give them 50% of what we get paid because that's a bonus for them. Betsy's standing right here with our microphone, and she paid for her trip to Vegas with the money that she makes in insurance sales. Not really, we paid for it, but she's making right now, her last commission check was $800.
That's just insurance. That's just insurance. This is one of the easiest ways to throw it. This is one of the easiest incentives you can give. You
Yes.
can provide for your
We got a
managers.
question.
Sure.
What percentage are you seeing of your units per location that are insurances
Penetration?
that you provide or that they provide externally?
That's a great question. Our penetration runs around 90% because that includes everybody. Each store, I get a report every month that tells me what the actual penetration is for our what they've bought from us. And your software will do that for you. If you've got insurance, you should be running reports at the end of the month that are going to give you this information. It's only going to give you the information on who you've actually sold to because that's your insurance report. Our goal is 60%. Where are you at right now?
83%.
83% is where she's at. Where are you at right now?
At about 80%.
Yeah.
And that number can only go up. I mean, we're still talking about tenants that were there prior to us rolling this out, or tenants that have their own insurance.
Do you have a question over here? Hold on, I'm going to let her give you the mic. And then you can tell me who you are.
Oh, my name's Matt Roundsley.
Hi,
We have
Matt.
2 facilities in Spokane, Washington, and it was Store Smart Insurance a couple months ago, month and a half. And so I was just basing a commission per policy. You know, they got the first month's premium or 40%, whichever's greater. But no, this is a great idea because it's free money.
Exactly.
And it's easy to sell. I mean, because we're at 85, 90% at both facilities, and they just automatically sign up. So.
Well,
No,
and the
it's
main,
great.
Right, that's fantastic. Thank you for sharing. And the main thing, what I want to say to owners is that's found money for you, and you can give your managers a raise, and our managers do really well, and we split it, and I think that's fair. I think everyone in this room could do that. You could participate in the program, do it, and then you have a way to give that manager a nice raise because, you know, our managers need to make more money in our industry. It has been my goal for the last 5 years to change the mindset of $10 an hour. These people are professionals. We've spent $1, $2, $3, $5 million on our facilities, and we're letting some $10 employee run it. Does that sound right? Doesn't sound right to me. I have a fantastic staff because we treat them very, very well. You got a question over
Did
here?
you say treat them very well? Or
Treat them.
Okay, treat them
Yeah.
very well.
The commission seems generous.
Is this standard percentage through the insurance industry?
From what I've heard, it varies. I can only say what we do. I really can't tell you what. Are you an owner, sir?
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. You may say, well, I only want to pay my manager 10% or 5%, or I want to keep all the money. We're just saying this doesn't cost you anything, and you can really reward a hardworking manager for some work with this program.
Is there anyone else who pays commissions on insurance? Can you tell us what would you be willing to share what you paying commissions on insurance?
He said not enough.
We've paid 10 to 20%, but our results, are not good, are dismal. So, we're going to completely rethink what we're doing.
He's saying his results are not good. So that's something that, I'm glad we can share this with you because it does work if you are trained properly and you know. And the panel we just heard in the last session was fantastic. And I'm just going to say this, I'm not plugging insurance. I'm just saying as an owner, here's how you can make some money. I'm going to talk about it. They're not going to talk about it, but I'll talk about it. You go talk to them individually. They can show you companies like ours and what they've done. And we're not spectacular. We're in Nashville. We have 7 stores, but we did it and it works. More questions? What is the cost to the renter? Typically, if they go with the minimum, it's $9 a month.
But the policy, the cost for each policy varies. But
Yeah, it depends on what they choose. And I'm not an insurance expert, so I can just talk to you basically about things like that. What it costs the customer, what's the benefit to an owner, how you can pay some commissions. You got some?
My question is, y'all have talked about your 22 to 24% with commission. What's your base salary that you're offering? Because it seems like all of this is adding up because you're giving them all these bonuses, whereas we prefer to provide a higher salary in the beginning and not put a lot of this on them because it's basically their job to do this, right?
I completely agree with you. Completely agree. That's a great question. What I've learned in doing these sessions is I'm not going to throw out a big number to y'all out there. I'm going to tell you what our managers make, what we do in Nashville, and then you can take with that what you want. Managers are great. They do deserve the salary. We have found if we invest in our manager with a nice salary, and then we say, here's where you can really make some money, they're investing back in us. As owners, we're all in this for business. We want to make a profit. Otherwise, we close our doors. But you have to have a really great manager. And we want our managers to feel like they're part of our company. And we're going to talk about economic occupancy rewards here in a few minutes, so maybe that'll help somewhat. We have another question?
If insurance is required,
Mm-hmm.
there really is no selling. So why are they getting 50% of something that's just required?
Okay, she's saying, why are we paying them commission on something that's required? That's a great question. We require it because we were looking for a way to protect our owner. I want to protect the owner from all the people that might have claims, but you never know what they're going to say. We've all had claims. Anybody not had a claim at their store? Anybody not had a customer where something happened? Never have. Anybody not had one? You've never had? Good, congratulations. So we did this program and we wanted to be able to give our managers a raise. You have to look at your expenses and you have to look at things managers don't understand, what their mortgage is, what their electric bill is, what their taxes are, what their insurance is. So a store can be making $40,000 a month, but their bills may be $36,000 a month, but all they're seeing is $40,000 a month. So we're trying to bring in the income so we can pay them more without going out of business or breaking even. So that's why this is just one thing that we do. We do a lot of other things. Does that help you? I'm sorry. You think the manager doesn't have to do anything for this? Okay. Well, I mean, we've always paid commission on it, but it wasn't required before, and our penetration was like 2-3%. So the managers work and they get trained and they have to track their sales and there's extra work they have to do. So what we did is to make this program work for us is we said, we're going to share it with you. You're our employees. We think you're fantastic. We're going to share it. Betsy, we have someone. We're coming.
This required insurance is also the insurance that the homeowners could have. If they have homeowners insurance, does it not extend to the rental?
It does. We will absolutely. We will accept documentation that you have it. Absolutely. In the state of Tennessee, you cannot require a tenant to buy insurance from you as a self-storage facility. That is our state law. That was passed in July of 2000, whatever year it was, 13.
So they are actually selling the tenant something?
They actually are.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's something they don't have to really push on them.
Well, the thing with the insurance policy is, I mean, what do you think your deductibles are on your homeowner's insurance? So if you have a $2,000 policy, insurance policy through a thank you, through one of these companies, most of the time they're not paying a deductible. If they have a disc lock or if they have a cylinder lock, there's no deductible with the company we use.
Exactly.
Right, that's the selling part of it.
And we're not insurance agents, so we really can't question their homeowners. If they bring us a deck page, we file it and we write they are self-insured. It's not our job to say what's your deductible, what's not covered. You need to read your policy because we're not agents. We cannot say that. So
But
keep that in mind.
With that too, the selling point of it is that we don't have to, even if they have a homeowner's policy, right? Would it still not kind of fall back on it? They would try to kind of push it back on us if there was a claim, even if there was. So they have a $1,500 deductible. And they're like, I'm not paying that. You know, it was your fault that it happened, or something. And it's never our fault, right?
It's never our fault. Never our fault. Okay, we're going to move on. Economic occupancy. And everybody in here is familiar with economic occupancy, correct? Is anybody not familiar with it? Okay. Economic occupancy is obviously your gross potential that you can do as a site if you're completely full with no discounted units. So we have a little bit of a complicated system, but it actually works. So as stores are growing, they're going to hit different levels of economic occupancy, starting off at 20, 30, 40. Once they hit 60% economic occupancy, we pay a 1% bonus. That's a one-time. That's everything they collect. Once they hit 70%, we pay a one-time bonus of 1.5%. And every month they maintain that, we pay them a maintaining bonus of 0.5%, all the way up to 90%, which you can see here. What this does for our managers and what this does for you as an owner is they quit giving discounts. We never discount, ever. They're not giving away free rent. They don't have best friends.
What about late fees?
They're not waiving late fees. Late fees are not waived. Their ancillaries are higher and their delinquencies are lower. Our managers, because they get a percentage every single month of what they're collecting through that door, it's made them take on an ownership for us. They're making me more money and they're making more money. Now, let's go with questions on this one.
That's every store.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Repeat your question, please.
Oh, I just didn't know on that one-time threshold if it's on a new store, new construction, or an underperforming
That's
store.
a great question. New stores, absolutely. Now, the other thing we do is we build in phases. So we may start off with phase 1. I'm sure y'all are familiar. It gets up to about 80% when we start a phase 2. Sometimes when we do a phase 2, we double that store. And our managers get to hit those thresholds again. They go through it all again.
But now, if you dip below 60%, then that, you don't get it again. So.
What's your question?
So, what do you do when you raise your street rates, your rack rates? That changes the economic
Yes,
occupancy.
it does. It absolutely does. JB, we just went through this at his store because I went out there and raised all of his rents. He had been working hard on revenue management, so he was already charging over street rates anyway because of his occupancy. So if a 10 by 10 went for 100, he was charging 120. So we went in there and we changed all those rates because he was collecting 115% EO, and we said, wait a minute, something's got to change here. We need to get these rates. We need to get this price per square foot up.
Yes.
So we went out there and changed his rates, and he's going through that right now.
So at what point do you pay, like, the economic So what point do you pay the economic occupancy reward? If they're working to get to 80% and you've already paid them at 70%, how does that work?
The bonus for maintaining.
That, okay, but what do you do? Do you say on this date, I'm going to pay you a bonus for the occupancy?
What happens is our reports generate every month. And so let's say Betsy hits 80%.
Is this a monthly
This is
reward?
once a month, yes.
Okay,
We
got
pay
it.
it every month.
I missed it.
And there are
Okay.
months that if you're at that threshold and you've hit 80 and we pay you that one-time threshold and you drop down to 78, then you go back down to the previous maintaining bonus. But as she hits and goes higher, then we go back. And I personally have done that. I've hit a bonus and then my occupancy went down 2%, so I didn't get as high of a threshold. But we do pay that once a month.
Any other questions about economic occupancy?
So it's only paid if they're not giving any discounts?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
We're saying that's the effects. Like, you know, we talk about features and benefits. Okay, here's our feature and here's our benefit to our manager. Oh, actually, it's the benefit to the owner because they're not giving discounts. Because quite frankly, who in here doesn't want their rents to be what it's, you know, what they should be? Why discount those? As an owner, if you have investors, you have to answer to your investors. And we've had investors come in and their CPAs come in and they're going, well, why are you giving $25 off this rent? Or why are you doing this? That has really helped that. Last August, we sold 5 of our stores in Nashville. And I'm really proud to say that our insurance program did take our value up tremendously. And we sold those stores for almost $34 million. So my owner's really, really happy right now, very happy. And these are just 5 stores in Nashville. So everything we do, because of our staff, we try to get those stores up there, get them performing, so you as owners can get returns. But you've got to have a good staff. You've got to have that superstar in the chair. That's the face of your store, and you've got to pay them. Did I see a hand? Nope. Any more questions right now?
Next slide.
Let's talk about other benefits. How many are offering health insurance to your employees? That's fantastic. That's another thing you can do in lieu of a raise. As you're talking with your managers, you've got to find out what's important to them, what's going to motivate them. Personally, me, I went to my owner this year and said, if you'll pay my health insurance, don't give me a raise. That was a great deal for me because he did it. Don't tell my employees that. Paid time off. Our managers get 1 day off. They work 4.5 days. Okay, we're open 6 days. So like JB's off on Sundays and Mondays. He works Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 5, and he works Saturday from 9 to 1. We've got part-time help. That helps. We haven't always been able to afford part-time help. These managers had to work really hard to get us in profit where we could bring someone in and pay them an hourly wage to come work 1 day a week. I've had managers that I've lost because they burn out. Managers that will answer their phone at 10 o'clock at night or on a Sunday or open or stay late to rent units because they're getting paid such a low wage and they're only getting that rental bonus and that's all they're getting, and they're getting $10 for every unit that they rent, and that's it. So I've lost a really good manager because he did burn out. I didn't want to lose that manager, but he was tired. He was over it. He was done. And I lost him. And so then I had to find someone. It costs $3,800 to turn over an $8 an hour employee. $3,800. Take $3,800 and give that to your manager.
And the nice thing about that was that wasn't something that we had to ask for, was it, Betsy? We didn't have to ask for that. Like when they came to us and said that we could have an extra day off, I mean, that was tremendous. I mean, that's an opportunity for us to spend more time with our families, and I mean, it's, you know, it's pretty nice.
We also do a cell phone reimbursement because we require our managers to answer the phone during business hours. Because we do promote community events, we do encourage our managers to go to chamber luncheons and things like that. We do let them leave the property to go get a hamburger at Wendy's. We encourage them to leave the property to go get lunch. But we say just answer the phone. So every month we give a cell phone reimbursement. We don't pay the whole bill, we just give a certain dollar amount. That's another thing you can do for your managers, or you can provide a cell phone for them. You can do TruePhone or Cricket or one of the less expensive ones because they're only going to use that for during regular business hours. You have another question? We pay $40 for reimbursement on the cell phone. education. And my managers that are here now, and did your owners pay for you to come here? Yes? Raise your hand if your owner paid for you to be here. I want to applaud those owners, applaud yourselves, because education is so, so, so important. It's not cheap for your owner to send you here. And they expect you to be in these classes and learning these things. That's what I expect of our employees. You can also get involved with your state associations. We participate in our state association. We go to the quarterly luncheons. It's only 4 times a year, and we have one day-long event that's a legal seminar. And we get our part-timers to work, and I take my whole staff and let them get educated. When we get back to Nashville, these two are going to be very, very motivated because they've been here listening to all the great things, and they're excited. I mean, we're talking until midnight last night about all these great things they've heard in the sessions. It's important. And owners that will spend the money to send your superstars out here, I think that's absolutely fantastic. I waited for 6 years to try to get out here, and finally got out here. I've been here 4 years in a row now, and it's absolutely wonderful. We've got 5 minutes left, so we're going to talk about community really quick. We encourage our managers to do chamber events, events at their stores, get out in the communities. You know, he's a huge community person. JB won the Loving Las Vegas contest last year for his community service, and he's like, I'm going to let you just talk about it.
Well, I don't like to talk about myself. You can
Well,
keep
talk
talking.
about yourself. It's okay.
Well, involved in the community, here's what I'm involved with right now. I mean, we did the Loving Las Vegas. I earned that because of my community service. It wasn't something, I mean, we had to, I had to apply for it and everything and write an essay about it. But, I mean, it's something I'm proud of. It's, the things that we can do in our community, I mean, it doesn't really take that much of our time. We just need to be there and out there and doing it. Something that I do, I'm very involved with the Chamber of Commerce. I'm the vice chairman of our chamber, the Spring Hill Chamber of Commerce. In January, I'll be the president of our chamber. So you can get involved. It's not that difficult. So
We get really quickly, we do give our managers a budget every month of $300 cash that they keep for petty cash. And what we encourage them to do with that money is to use it for marketing. No one knows their community like they do. I know where I live in Nashville, but I don't know his town and I don't know her town. So what they can do is they can take $30 and they can go to Kroger and buy a big bouquet of flowers and take it to apartment complex manager with some chocolate, and they will not turn you away. And that's how they get involved in the communities. The more they can network, the more everybody knows their face, then that just builds that value and everybody wants to rent from them. Carol Crindle said yesterday, I'm the storage lady. I'm the storage lady in my hometown. She's the storage lady. He's the storage guy. So we encourage them that with their communities as well. And now they do have to turn in receipts, and we only reimburse them what they spent. But our owner is very generous about letting our managers go out. And they have a pride. Yes, I'm from A+ Storage. Yes, I'm proud of my job. Yes, I'm proud of my facility. Come rent from me. So we have a staff of superstars. We're able to pay them very, very well. I hope you guys have learned something from this. Maybe get some good ideas, even one idea. I really, really appreciate you being here very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, everybody.